and he gets through.
Brother Jesse, thank you for letting me be here this morning.
Is that on?
And I got a pretty loud voice anyway. So, I have a passion now, and my passion is being able to share my story. Everybody's got a story. Some stories are dramatic. Some stories are just simple. But it doesn't matter. Everybody's got a story. And I enjoy telling mine. I enjoy sharing mine because that passion only developed about a little over a year ago, and I'm 43. I got saved when I was 42. The problem is that the way that I was living my life. See, I was raised in a great family, good Christian family. It's not that I never didn't believe; I always believed. But the life that I chose to live, even starting out as a teenager, that's how I lived my life. God gave me every opportunity, countless opportunities to change my life. He gave me every exit route that you could possibly give somebody to turn from the life that you were living to go a different direction, and I ignored each and every one of those opportunities. Why? Because I was in control. I knew where my life was going. I didn't have a problem. My life was the way that I wanted it to be because I didn't think there was a problem. I justified everything I did in my life to make me feel better about how I was living my life. Drugs, alcohol, infidelity, pornography, lies, deceit. That's how I lived my life. Both my marriages, infidelity. But I didn't have a problem. If something happened, I took care of it, and I kept on going. That's how I lived my life. I was in control. I justified everything I did. Until one day, everything came to a halt. In a matter of minutes, I lost my family. I lost my career. I lost friends. I lost everything in my life and every person in my life that was important to me. In a matter of minutes, everything was gone. I'm not talking one day I lose this, and a few days later I lose this, and a couple of days later. No. In a matter of minutes, every single thing in my life was gone. I was left completely alone. But the funny thing is I still didn't think I had a problem. I've just lost my wife and my family. I've just lost my career. I've just lost friends. I've lost, everything. But it's okay. I got this. I'm in control. I've been down this road before. I'll fix it. And I'll keep going. But the problem was there was no next time or this time. This time, God took everything from me. Everything. He took every single thing in my life. He took it away. The more I tried to fix things, it was like quicksand. The more I moved, it was like the faster I was sinking. I got to where I felt like I was suffocating. Everything was upside down. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror anymore. And one Saturday, I sat in my house and I just began to drink and drink and drink and drink. And that's what I did that night. I just drank. A little voice popped in my head and said, "Greg, you need to go to church tomorrow morning." So that Sunday morning, I got up and I went to church. See, me and my wife went to church, but it was routine. Okay, it's Sunday morning. Let's get up. Let's go to church. It was just another day. But this particular Sunday that I didn't realize is that this was the moment that my life was about to change. I walked into service that morning and the music team began to sing. And on the first song, I started tearing up. My heart started racing. I was getting hot. And I remember I was standing up and I was literally grabbing the cushion on the seat in front of me. I'm just squeezing it as hard as I can, just like, what is going on, man? Just trying to shake it off. Well, I finally shook it off and I was able to get myself back under control. Midway through the second song, I broke. The tears, they just continued to fall. I couldn't control my emotions. I couldn't control anything about myself. And I had to walk out of service. I literally walked out of the sanctuary into the foyer of our church. And one of the deacons there, which was a retired police chief from the Bossier Police Department where I used to work, he kind of knew my situation and knew a little bit about what was going on in my life and how I had kind of been living my life. And he walked out behind me and I cried on his shoulder for like 5 minutes. I hugged him and I cried on his shoulder for 5 minutes and I said, "I don't want this anymore. I don't want it." And he looked at me and he said, "Greg, you cannot fix everything. At some point in time, you've got to turn it over to God." That afternoon, shortly after the service was over, we went into my pastor's office and I got on my knees and I turned my life over to God. I said, "Lord, I don't want this anymore. Take away the pain. Take away all the hurt that not only that I've caused everybody else. Take away the hurt inside of me. Take this life that I've been living. Take it away. Take everything away. Let me, just forgive me for everything that I've done in my life. I'm yours. Do with me what you want. I'm yours." Everything was great. And I just turned my life over to Christ. Woo! I felt good. And I was flying. I was on cloud 9. That Monday morning, or that Monday afternoon, I get a letter in the mail. It's addressed to me. From my daughter. Well, me and my daughter never really had a good relationship. Till this day, we don't have a good relationship. And that's something that, I had been wanting for a long time. I open up the card and it says something to the effect of "thinking of you" or whatever, something to that effect. I'm like, oh, this is good. We're fixing to reconnect. I just turned my life over to Christ yesterday. I get a letter from my daughter today, and we're headed in the right direction. I opened it up. But there wasn't anything in that letter that was nice to say to me. I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Don't call me. Don't send me letters. Don't send me packages. You're not my dad. I don't think of you as my dad. And I'm thinking to myself, really? This is how we're starting this off here? This is how we're going to start off my new life? You're going to send this to me? I tried so desperately for months to stay positive, but it just seemed like, okay, I've turned my life over to Christ. I don't feel you. I don't see any changes. I'm supposed to turn my life over to you, man. Everything I've been told now, I turn my life over to you, and my life's supposed to be just great. Where's the greatness? How come I'm still going through this? How come I'm still dealing with that? I come off my spiritual high and I come back down to reality. Oh no. No. The daily struggles, your everyday struggles, they're still there. Every single day. The trials you go through are still there. Every single day. The storms that you get beaten, battered from side to side and feel like you're fixing to sink, it's still there. But see, the one thing that really burns me up nowadays is that you hear so many people, turn your life over to Christ. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. You turn your life over to Him and He's going to do all these wonderful things for you. But what they don't tell you, and what you don't hear a lot of, is that you still go through the pains. You still go through the hurt. You still go through the trials. You still go through the storms. You still go through the struggles. And a lot of people lose hope because they weren't told that. They were told you turn your life over to Christ and everything's wonderful. They weren't told that reality, you're still going through everything. You're not exempt. Nobody's exempt. I mean, we all know that Jesus Christ Himself struggled when he was on Mount Olive praying. Look, if this is your will, if this isn't your will, let me know, because he didn't want to go do that. He didn't want to go sacrifice Himself. But He did it because that was God's will. He still struggled with it. See, I wasn't told all that. I slowly started beginning to kind of slip back into that life that I said I didn't want to live anymore. Because I felt like nothing was changing. I was still dealing with all the junk. And I began to not really lose hope, but I began to just feel like it wasn't worth it. And so one night I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I said, Lord, please help me. Let me know that I'm not doing this by myself. Let me know that what I'm doing is worth the pain and the heartache that I'm going through right now. Let me know that you're with me. You know, I've lost everything in my life. I got myself in a situation and I lost everything. I've turned my life over to you. Where's the change. Because I don't have it, I don't feel it. Slowly, the Lord began to reveal himself to me. And he slowly began to put the things that he had taken away from me, he slowly began to put them back into my life, but he began to put them back into my life the way that they needed to be and the way that they're supposed to be. So many times, I kept just telling myself, I'm done with all this. I'm done. But then, that voice inside kept telling me, Greg, hang on. Just hang on. And I continued to hang on until I almost got to the point where it was just, what's all this for? And he began to slowly reveal himself in different ways. He began to reveal himself to let me know, you're not doing this by yourself. He began to reveal himself to let me know that he's still walking with me, he's still with me, not to give up. He began to reveal himself to me by slowly putting my family back together and my marriage back together. He slowly began to put the things that he had taken away, put them back together the way that they needed to be. And now I'm proud to say that my family's back. Me and my wife have reconciled, and we're still working on things, but we're in a lot better place than we've, in my personal opinion, and I think we've really ever been on a spiritual standpoint. But I wish at some point in time that somebody would have said, well, let me back up. I said this, I made a comment to the youth this morning. You always hear people say, man, if I had the opportunity to go back in time, I would change this, or I would do this different. But the fact of the matter is, honestly, I wouldn't want to change a single thing in my life. Because if I had done something different, I may not be where I am right now. Yes, I went through a lot of heartache. Yes, I caused a lot of pain. I caused a lot of hurt. I caused a lot of discomfort to myself and other people. And it took a very long road. It took 42 years of my life. But if I would have changed something and went a different way, at one little small aspect of my life, I might not be where I am right now. But with that being said, I do wish that somebody would have walked up to me, grabbed me by my collar, threw me on the ground, stuck their foot in my chest and said, what are you doing? Why are you living your life this way? Do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand the pain that you're causing this person and your family? And do you understand that you can lose this and you can lose that? Well, I didn't have that. I didn't have somebody just to slam me up against the wall and say, bro, take a look at yourself in the mirror. Because at the point I got to, when I looked at myself in the mirror, it wasn't what I wanted to see. That's the only thing that I wish that would have happened. Because I still would have had my career. Somebody the other day asked me if I wouldn't have got myself in the situation I got myself into, which happened to be on the job, do I think I would be where I'm at today? And I looked at him and I said, no. Because I'd have had no reason to change. I'd still probably be doing and living my life the same way that I had been living. So we all have the opportunity and the ability to make our own choices, our own decisions, good and bad. I made the choice and decision to turn away from every opportunity that God gave me to turn my life around. I turned away from that. I said, I'm good. Sometimes you have to be still. Sometimes you have to be quiet. And in those times is when you can hear the Lord speak to you. If you're trying to make stuff happen, it's not going to happen. We're all going to go through struggles. We're all going to go through storms and trials. You know, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. But the thing is that every time you get knocked down, the one person that's reaching their hand out to you to pick you up, it's not your best friend, it's not your co-worker, it's not your next door neighbor, it's Jesus Christ. Amen. You know, I think every morning I pray, I tell the Lord, I don't know how the words to say to thank Him for what He's done in my life. I mean, I just don't. I don't have the words to express. But what I can tell you is that each and every one of you, doesn't matter how young, doesn't matter how old, every single one of y'all have a story. It doesn't matter how dramatic, it doesn't matter how simple. If you just, knew that you wanted to have Jesus Christ in your life and that's how you want to live your life, that's your story. It doesn't matter how dramatic or simple. Every single one of you have a story. You want to help somebody? Tell them your story. Because that's where it begins. We all have scars from life. Your scars need to be showed. They need to be seen. Your stories need to be told. That's where it begins. Telling your story. Thank you very much.
Greg was sharing with our youth upstairs that if you took 1,000 students and lined them up and asked which one of those students had ever had a cattle deputy escort their father into the Sunday school room to remove them because of something they had done, very likely nobody would stand up. He said he would have been the one that had stood up. An amazing story. He didn't share it all, so I just want to encourage you to visit with him afterward. You're welcome to. But you know, the thing that he said, hopefully you caught it more times than once. A lot of us think that way. I got this. I can fix it myself. Maybe you have many a time. I think the thing that him and I share the same passion about is our heart is to tell our story so that you don't have to get to that point to where you're broken and you have nothing left. You can prevent that, man. By reaching out today to Christ and accepting Him as your personal Lord and Savior. It doesn't matter how many times you come to church, man, or how good you look, or what your status